Hello, welcome to another vlog from Parkinson's Walks Towers. Out in the fresh air again, gorgeous, gorgeous. Perverse way these things go, we're all hoping we get some rain now because the garden's looking a bit limp here and there. Not too bad at the moment, hopefully. So, usual procedure, if you want to see the Notgrove film, then just skip forward about 20 minutes. And 15-20 minutes and you'll be there waiting for you. The rest of us are going to go into matters arising over the last couple of weeks' films, see what we can dig out, see what you thought of it, and see if we can learn some more. Right, now then. The first film that we're looking at is the Dowswell Viaduct. Huge, great viaduct that disappeared. Michael was first to write in from Poland. Happy Friday, he said. Made even better being able to join you in your garden. Well, here we are, back out here again, Michael. And listen to this tales and stories about reports from the Parkinson's walks, family members from around the world. Now, you might remember that Michael's dog was being visited by the vet last time we reported from there. And unfortunately he was put to sleep just hours after I wrote to you, says Michael. So yeah, sad news. We all know what it's like when we lose a favourite pet, especially since his wife had him from a puppy, and I think he was about 16 years old, something like that. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, no well. He says, I hope Marilyn's black eyes have got better and James's trip across the border to Buffalo went well. To our contributors. It's great to hear that Ron is back from the Abandoned Railways channel. He's beaten cancer for the second time, yeah. And Deb's is still taking treatment, but she's largely clear now, so it's looking good in the Ron household. Well done, you lot. The viaduct, Michael finishes by saying the viaduct investigation would have made Miss Marple proud. I'm not sure about that. Pete Payne. It does seem amazing that such a large structure can just disappear. They go on to say all that hard work. Can you imagine building that thing? It's immense. What work must have gone into doing it, and they just go and blow it up. That's the way it goes. Malcolm Richardson. Thank you for a forensic piece of viaduct investigation. Elementary, my dear Watson. Marilyn, what's Marilyn been up to? She says there's a lot of interesting comments from the worldwide family. Yep. Great shame the amazing viaduct has gone. There was a massive one just outside Stockport station which takes your breath away when passing underneath, but they can't have that as it's part of the West Coast main line. It wouldn't be very popular then, would it? Take that out of the way. By the way, she says, I've managed to keep out of trouble so far this week while the daughters are in foreign parts. Blimey, that must be a first then, Marilyn, I would think. But then she goes on to say, I'm planning my next move. Oh dear, look out. Oh dear. And Ron then, from Abandoned Railways. It's great to be back and exploring again. Yeah, he's already put a film out. Brilliant. An interesting glimpse of the old Dowswell Viaduct. I remember seeing it a few times from the bus on the way to Cheltenham. It always struck me as a bit sinister. Don't know why. But it was certainly big, and it was all dark blue engineering brick, wasn't it? So yeah, it didn't look cheerful, I don't suppose. Engage on a shelf. He's been getting a lot of work done on his layout since he's slowly creeping towards his retirement. I can't see how he gets away with that. If I had spare time, Pauline would be straight on the case. And I wondered what Suzanne had planned for Simon's retirement days. I've got to decorate the lounge, he says, the stairs and the landing, replace the living room window, replace 5 internal doors, replace all the cabinet and drawer fronts in the kitchen. I think that's it for now. And I've got to do all that while trying to keep two little dogs off the glossy paint on the doors. You can come and supervise if you like, he said. Yes, you must be joking, Simon. Sounds like hard work to me. Sumac, the OVM, official virtual mascot. And she's sent us a message, a comment, because she's a clever dog and can type and all that. Brilliant stuff. We've continued on the weather roller coaster here, if you remember there, going from boiling hot to freezing cold on alternate days, going back a little while. Still on the roller coaster. Hopefully it levels off soon and up rather than down. James is deserting me again this week. Oh dear, for those darn rowers. I definitely expect some compensatory ball play when he gets home. Yes, I don't blame you. So you should. James is always off here, there and everywhere. And speaking of the devil, I just managed to prise the computer out of some furry paws. I've always wondered, with steam trains, do you get the wonderful smell of burning coal as well as the sight and sound of steam? Yes, of course you do, yeah, brilliant. You said, I wish I could buy cologne that smelt like that. I think it could be a niche market. Yeah. That would probably sell well amongst our family, wouldn't it? Things are winding down at school as the bulk of my classes are now writing their final exams. My school, however, abhors a vacuum, and rowing has picked up with a vengeance. The dog isn't well pleased. Yeah, we noticed. Take care, James. Michael Miller makes a point here. Such a shame about the viaduct. We might have needed that sometime. Yeah, with the council's now, of course, converting lots of old railway track beds into cycling walking paths. That might well have had a good future. Get out of be. Short-term thinking, but then somebody's got to pay for the maintenance, I guess. And there's your snag straight away. Right. So that was 2 weeks ago. And last week was a visit to Norchard, the Dean Forest Railway main office, if you like, and area for the workshops. And we were so very fortunate to be able to have a look around the workshop. Brilliant stuff. Yeah. Pete Payne said there was some lovely stuff to look at and a sense of real community, all working away for the love of railways. Yeah, a lovely bunch, weren't they? And now Pete goes on to announce news here is that myself and Tanya have just got engaged. Oh, brilliant. Because we'll all expect a piece of we'll all expect a piece of cake from the wedding, Peter. I hope you bake a big enough one, and we should expect it to come through the door. Philip Pankhurst. The Pope is indeed a Catholic. Oh, that's good to know. And Richard is a great engineer and a true gentleman, wouldn't he just? Brilliant. Allowing us to see the beating heart of this lovely railway. That wonderful little packet shows what fabulous skills the Dean Forest Railway has in its ranks, not least the painters responsible for her incredible finish. Yeah, they don't get much of a mention, do they, the painters? That's good. Charles from America, all the way from America. They're doing a great job, he says, but clearly they still have a lot of heavy work ahead in the restoration of those several engines. What a daunting task that must be. Have just the frames there with the wheels on. Do they have the wheels on? And to have to build it up from there. Amazing. And they do it too. It takes a while, but they do it. Michael from Poland. Morning, Ron. Thank you to Richard and the team at Norchard for allowing us to have a look around behind the scenes. And so say all of us. The love and devotion that all the volunteers have is incredible. Keeping this wonderful railway alive, it must take a lot of time and money. It isn't a job, he says, it's a vocation. Yeah, that's so true, isn't it? Malcolm Richardson. It's very instructive, he thought, on the huge amount of work behind the scenes to restore, maintain and operate a heritage railway. Yes, it's alright seeing the trains puff up and down. You've got to think what it takes to enable them to do that. Brilliant. Some tasks, he says, look really daunting, but must give us a huge amount of satisfaction restoring a rusting hulk and bringing it up to operational standard. What skill and dedication. Yes, of course, some of these things take sort of 10-year cycle. How do you maintain your, well, not your interest, but how do you maintain your sanity in a situation like that? 10 years down the line. Oh, brilliant that they keep it going, isn't it? And Ron from Abandoned Railways, excuse me, he said he really enjoyed this video. The workshop tour was outstanding. Those guys are so skilled to bring those engines back from the ground up. Wonderful, said Ron. No one's going to argue with that. Page 757 Trev. Trev. Where is he? Really? Oh, right then. Good evening, he says. Thank you for the final part of the DFR series, Dean Forest Railway. I know some of the team over there, as at my railway, the Pontypool and Malvern Heritage Railway. Trev always gets a plug in. I don't blame you, Trev. Keep them coming. He says we have a very good relationship with them and help each other out in all sorts of ways when necessary. Industrial use, yes. So just on that, it sounds like it's a brotherhood of heritage railways. Excuse me. Starting to croak already here. So yes, Trev and the Pontypool and Malvern Heritage Railway. I got that wrong this week, haven't I? Never mind. Help them out and they help each other out, which is good. Then Trev goes on to give us the whole history of the Norchard site. Misfiring like mad here at the minute. Industrial use in the area of Norchard started as early as 1282. 1282! Gee whiz! When coal was being worked under the area known as Norchard Wood. And then Trev goes on and tells you all about the comings and goings at Norchard. A brilliant piece of work there. Well done, Trev. Thanks for that. Lionel and Mary Troubles. Lionel, wow, he says, you lucky man. Being invited into the workshop and given a guided tour. Yeah, wouldn't I just? Brilliant. Clearly you're very well known in the area, he says. No. They didn't know me from Adam. The coaches were immaculate inside and out, he says. Nothing lets the heritage line down more than shabby rolling stock. Well, yeah, true. We expect higher standards these days, don't we? For some reason. The automatic lubricator was fascinating, he said. A simple idea, but effective. There's so much on those engines that you could go and look around, isn't there? And pick out bits and pieces. Marilyn again then. What's Marilyn been up to? Oh, lovely to be back at Norchard and see what they're doing there. It's nearly 9 years since we were there, last there. I hope the little classic GWR shed on the higher platform is now open for shelter from the rain on operating days. Yes, it is, Marilyn. Yeah, I sat in there for a while out to the sunshine, waiting for the train. She says I had a nice easy trip to Crewe during the week, changing at Kidsgrove, where an army of lovely gardeners have taken over the 4 platforms, and there's a profusion of flowering plants and shrubs, making change there a very pleasurable experience. The gardeners were out in force, watering and trimming and tidying, all credit to them. Isn't that brilliant? Remember years ago a lot of stations had, the minor ones anyway, had flowers and things on them. Yeah, lovely. That one certainly pleased Marilyn. Well done. Keep out of trouble, Marilyn. Engage on a shelf. Ah, this is the bit I remember, he said, because he's visited some while ago. Which shows how long it's been since I visited. One of our lads used to look after the old mechanical telephone exchange as a volunteer. So it's up and running, is it, the old mechanical telephone exchange? Oh, I'm glad. Oh, great. David from Spain. Morning, Ron. Great behind the scenes tour, he says. Big thanks to Richard for reaching out to take you round. Yep, Richard, you're a gent. It looked a real hive of activity. Lots of details to feast our eyes on. You could film on there all day, to be honest. He says there's some lovely curves along the line. As the lower and upper levels merge, and a wonderful bark from the engine. Back in the UK to Sunday to see Mum. So David lives over in Spain, pops across to see Mum now and again, and he's on his way back today. I think it is, yeah. Oh, yeah. Have a good time from us, David, and hope you managed to say hello to Mum for us. Well done. Now then, so what's coming up next? Well, we'll stick with the Cheltenham to Banbury Direct Railway, and we'll have a look at Notgrove, which is the highest station on the line, and what was there and what it hopefully is there. So we'll take a look at that. And then next week, we got a special treat next week. This is it's a bit of a surprise and something that you will find hard to believe, really, in the coincidence levels. It's a trip to Cornwall. Been there before, but I received instructions on how to see a bit more, and so we'll wander off next week to Cornwall. You'll need your walking boots because there's a little bit of walking involved, and don't be late. Further study then of our abandoned railway. Stratford Honeybourne up there, so the Gloucester Warwickshire Railway hangs out, Cheltenham Lansdowne, and then we've got the line here which going to Andoversford where it's split, went up there towards the Oxford line, through Kingham, and then down here to Swindon and Southampton. But the next stop up here on this branch of the line, Notgrove. Let's go have a look at that. Here it is in all its glory. There's the station there, photograph taken from the road bridge. Hustle and bustle, busy day at Notgrove station. On the way there we cross underneath this magnificent bridge. Look at that, our railway actually travels on this line, and that bridge there, look, is so good the council have left it in place over the main road. Isn't that brilliant? Station coming up on our right. Station entrance. Oh, well, not exactly what we were hoping to see. Mind you, there is a precedent for camping on railways. I'm not quite sure this is what they had in mind. Oh dear. But I have to say, having been invited to look around at my leisure, the owners of this caravan site are perhaps the friendliest people you could hope to meet. If you are camping individuals, I would thoroughly recommend them. And having been given their scrapbook to peruse, we can see where it all went off the rails. If you'll excuse the pun, go on, just this once. They've not forgotten the site heritage. It's a nice touch. 1946 or 48. Right, I'm told that we need to go down here and off to the side, the best chance of spotting anything railway. So that's what we'll do. Our old friends' railway posts. Oh, a beautiful line of them there. Gives us a good clue. Together with some original plain railway fence wiring, look. So we have the path here and the posts on the left. And just to there, look, raised bank, that will be the original embankment, I imagine. Superb. I've not seen as many fence posts in situ for a very long time. Right, the path now starting to go down in line with the fence posts, and of course as a consequence the embankment's going up. And then here, battered through the embankment, was what once was an accommodation bridge. Just the one buttress left now. Well, 1 1/8 We're fortunate enough to have an actual plan of this station. Here's the actual station buildings here, and there is this accommodation bridge. We're in touch with history, folks. Meanwhile, the railway posts march off down that way, at the head of which is a bit of old broad gauge rail doing duty as a fence post. From the top of the embankment looking west, and that is a huge embankment. There's the station itself. On the right hand side you can just make out the edge of the road bridge, very distinctive, and that white house there, look. Remember that one? It's been extended to the right as you look at it there, and that's the one. Well, our chances of finding anything are looking a bit slim, but if you look in this photograph, you've got the road bridge in the distance, and that looks a pretty decent sort of structure. Might be able to find something there. There's a close-up picture of it. Quite a large parapet on top, look, and then the down home signal. Yeah, not looking too good, is it? That's taken from where the first photograph was taken, and getting closer, can't get any closer than that. That's where the bridge should be. We're going to have to go and check it out on the road. And now we're standing actually on the road looking over what should be a parapet. I'm afraid the bridge has been grubbed out by the looks, although we'll just pop across the other side. I'm coming through to take a look on this side. That's it through there. And that's looking to Notgrove, so without a Sherpa, I'm not going to get through there. Regrettably, that's the westward heading line today. Not going to get through there. We're now west of the bridge. So the buildings there are part of the station, and the line carries on then there back to Andoversfoot. You can see the sort of countryside that this line traversed through. The Cotswolds, beautiful Cotswolds in high summer. Returning to look at Notgrove station then for one last time. If you look at the top left corner, you'll see the next road bridge along. Now I wonder if we could find anything there. Might be worth a look, mightn't it? This is the road that crosses over that bridge. As you can see, a lot more trees around now than there were in the photograph. And then if we pan round there, you can just about make out the double line of trees denoting the track. And this is the site of the bridge. As you can see, absolutely nothing there. If we pan round, that's looking to Notgrove along the line of the trees. Looking carefully across the road, you can see a gate which I imagine gives access to the track bed. For the farmer, that is. I don't know if you can make out the line in here in the field, but against the wall that leads to an embankment and then a down bit, which I guess is where the bridge was. It's the right alignment. And if we go across to the other side and poke the camera through here somewhere, you can see there's a rather large dippy. A slightly better view. Well, the bridge has actually been grubbed out, which is unusual, but that would have pointed towards Notgrove station. If you promise not to get too excited, if we go along here, there is an accommodation bridge. Worth a look. The fencing here is quite a mixture, look. You've got animal proof fencing there, barbed wire. You've got plain wire. Animal fencing wire again. Bit of railway, bit of not. Here you have it. Embankment up there. Across. Accommodation bridge, look. the approaches to Notgrove. Sturdily built, there's some buttressing here. Railway engineering at its finest. Oh, there's a bit of curvature on that too. Wonderful. Struggling to the top of the embankment. Trying to keep in one piece. There you go. Now, you'd have seen the station from here some years ago. Regrettably, not anymore. Base of the embankment here. Look at these old sleeper fence posts. Wow. Different world when they were earning their keep as proper railway sleepers. Coming from Andoversford in that direction, then crossing the accommodation bridge, Notgrove just down the road, and then Bortonstow. Ended up in Kingham. Well, we've got a couple of minutes, so why don't we actually go and look at Notgrove, the village. That's just there, station's there, which is, as you can see, nowhere near Notgrove really, but I suppose they've got to call it something. Soberton might have been nearer, but perhaps that's not quite as big. But probably a pretty little village. Pop and have a look. I had an idea that would be worth seeing. Right, that's your lot. We're out of here. You know what to do. Subscribe, like or share. If you enjoyed that, then come to my channel, Parkinson's Walks, click on videos, and there's a load more there for you. I'll catch you on the next one.